And now it's time for the Beardown Spotlight, brought to you by UATV.
We're back with Athletic Director Greg Byrne. Thanks for coming on the show. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great too. Now, obviously, you've been pretty busy, a lot going on in the sports world, but are you ready to take on the Beardown Spotlight?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's give it a try.
All right, first question for you. Why was it so important to keep Sean Miller at Arizona?
Well, I think you look at obviously what took place last season and what he was able to do in 2 short years as far as re-energize our men's basketball program, get our fan base back involved, lay a great foundation from a recruiting standpoint going forward. I've been around coaches my entire life, and there's not another men's basketball coach that I'd rather work with than Sean Miller, so I'm very glad he's here.
All right, and he's back. Basketball team's looking good so far. What do you expect out of them this season?
Well, it'll be some growing pains at the beginning of the year with the new freshmen, and that's part of it. Very rarely will a freshman come in right off the bat and look like they're world beaters. You look at how we played at the beginning of last year with some new energy, new blood in the program, and then just also guys continuing to develop. It took a while for us to get our feet under us. I think you'll see the same thing with this team. One of the things that Coach Miller has a great reputation for, and well-deserved, is for his development of talent, and he'll do that, and that's why you see that young men want to come play for him in our program.
All right, and since you've been here, you've done a lot so far. Now, the new scoreboard, obviously a great addition to the stadium. Now, I want you to briefly describe to me your intentions with the North End Zone project that a lot of people probably don't know about right now.
Sure. We plan to break ground in January or February, hopefully February at the latest. And that's going to be a $72 million renovation for Arizona Stadium. It's going to be our football home 365 days a year. Most BCS schools, in fact, I don't know another BCS school has a football complex. I don't know another one that doesn't have a football complex, and so we're one of the last ones to do so. This will have our weight room, medical treatment center, equipment room, locker room, coaches' offices, team meeting areas, and right now we're all over the place. But on top of that, we're going to have a cafeteria that's going to be open up for all of our student athletes. We're going to open up to the general student body as well, that they can come and have lunch and have dinner. We'll also invite the faculty to come be a part of it as well. It's going to be about an 18-month build, so we should be in it for this 2013 football season. But that's going to be a very attractive piece of the puzzle for us going forward to get our football program where we want it to be. On top of that, we're going to also have a lot of new fan amenities. Restrooms and concessions and all those things are an issue for us at Arizona Stadium. This will be the first big piece of the puzzle to allow us to modernize those things. It'll take some of the pressure off the east and west sides of the stadium, and it'll give the fans in that area some amenities that will make it a very attractive seating area. And we'll also have a high-end club area up on top as well for some of our higher-end seating, as a higher-end seating option.
And it sounds like it's going to be amazing, and it's too bad I won't be here to enjoy it anymore.
Well, you can come back and buy a ticket.
I was going to say homecoming. I'll come back and enjoy that. Speaking of homecoming, we just had that this weekend. Tim Kish, his second game as the interim head coach. How do you feel he's stepped in and performed so ffar?
He's done a very good job. Took over a very challenging situation for Coach Stoops, and I've been pleased with his leadership. He's presented kept the discipline strong, the academic accountability strong. Those were some of the first things he talked to the team about when he took over, and I think he and the coaches are having some fun, and that's what we wanted to do. Obviously, the game didn't go the way we wanted it to last night, but we still have 3 games ahead of us. Got to go to Colorado this week, and that's a game we go play well, play like we're able to. I like our chances.
And we should come away with the win, hopefully, but nothing's certain right now. Now, the first game he coached last week against UCLA, obviously right before the half, we had the streaker and the brawl. Can you kind of tell me about your feelings on that whole situation?
Well, there's reasons why we have security at the stadium, because what happened there with the incident was bad all around. It was a bad representation for our university, for our community, and then unfortunately the officials were diverted to something else, and as football's an emotional game, and unfortunately the emotions got the best of a couple of the student athletes on both sides, and we had to deal with the consequences of that. And so it's something that there's just no room for. The Larry Scott, our commissioner, came in and dealt with it from a league perspective very quickly, and we were full support of what he did.
No, they definitely handled it well. Now, I want to move away from football for a second. As far as baseball, another big decision, moving the team to play their home games at High Corbett this upcoming season. How do you feel that's going to help that organization?
Well, it's going to help us a lot. It's going to help us from a couple different fronts. One, it'll give us a facility that we're going to be able to recruit young men to that will say, you know, just a couple years ago, this was a major league training facility, and there aren't many schools in the country that can say that. And that makes us different, makes us unique, and that's important. How do you separate yourself from the competition? And that allows us to do it. On top of that, we're going to have as good a training setup for our teams, or for a baseball team, to allow them to train at a level as high as anybody else. And obviously, when you recruit young men to your baseball program, if you're going to be successful, get to Omaha on a regular basis, you're going to recruit at a level that most of the young men that you bring in are going to have aspirations beyond the U of A. And so that'll be an important part for us. The last piece for us is that we think it's going to give us a chance to re-engage our community with our baseball program. There's a lot of history there. Our crowds on campus have struggled, and Coach Lopez has put out a pretty good product. Hasn't got us to Omaha quite as much as we want, but there haven't been many years where we haven't been going to the postseason. So what we hope this will do is, one, when we qualify for postseason, that we'll be able to host regionals and super regionals right here in Tucson, which will be good for our economy. But two, we want our fan base to come out there and support the baseball team throughout the season and not just wait for the playoff times.
All right, and last question for you. You recently just got a contract extension and a raise. Now, you've done a tremendous amount for Arizona. What do you want to leave for your legacy when you leave this school?
Oh, I haven't thought a whole lot about that. I think that'll be for other people to answer at some point. I think what I hope, though, is when I'm done, whenever that is, and I hope it's a long time from now, that people say we worked very hard, that we've cared deeply about the University of Arizona, we've cared for our student athletes, we've made the community a positive impact on the community, and that we've set ourselves up for the next 10, 20, 30 years for future success. And that's having the infrastructure in place from a facility standpoint, from an academic standpoint, from a compliance standpoint, all those things, to where we're representing the program in the right way. And I feel very appreciative of Dr. Sander coming to me with the new contract. So try my best not to disappoint anybody.
Well, you haven't so far. Now, Greg Byrne, you are out of the Beardown spotlight. I want to thank you for coming on this show. We wish you the best of luck with the rest of your career here. Next up, find out how the hockey team is handling themselves so far this season. Stay with us.